We often forget about the memories we have during our childhood. And there's this distinct memory I have where it was my first day of school ever. And my mom and my grandpa had come to drop me off to the school. And I was crying like hell that day. I was sad, I was anxious, I was angry, uh, and I was crying like my life depended on it. And I still remember those moments, and I still get that feeling. And I keep telling my mom this all the time that I really, really didn't want to go to school. And uh, that's often the case for a lot of us. But for me, uh, it was much more than that. And that's what I want to discuss during this video. So, I was not really fond of school at all when I was growing up. So, if we fast forward to the end of my schooling days, uh, I was really happy that day that finally this whole mess is over and I get to get out of the school. So, a lot of people were crying because they will be separated from their friends. A lot of people were crying because how they will miss the school days. But I, on the other hand, was extremely happy, and I was just waiting to delete all the memories associated with school. So, if you ask me anything about my school right now, uh, I have very few uh, moments that I can think of because I almost deleted all of those memories from my consciousness. But if we go back a bit during my seventh, eighth grade of schooling, uh, I was put into this science and maths tuitions because as the grades go up, as you go from 7 to 8 to 9 to 10, the complexity of maths and science goes up. And my mom was not able to teach that to me, and she planned to put me into a tuition. And these tuitions were usually after the school timings, and I absolutely hated tuitions. I again told that to my mom at that point, and she thought this is just a teenage guy, uh, not or teenage guy angry at going to tuitions, and these are all just excuses. Uh, and you know what? In my ninth and 10th, I was fortunate enough to find a very amazing science and maths tuition teacher who actually also helped me grow my interest in it even more. But it's not that I was not interested in it at all. I'll get to that in a moment. But uh, so after 10th standard, I went into 11th and 12th. Uh, Absolutely no memory of those 2 years. It's a complete blank. Uh, Now, if you are in India, uh, those 2 years are where you study for IITs or your engineering or your big doctor exams, right? NET. And I told my mom at that point, I am not interested in going to any of these fields, and I know my capabilities, and I for sure will not crack IIT. And she was like, okay, that's fine. And I said, like, put me in the most mediocre class out there, and we'll figure it out. So in my 12th, I obviously didn't qualify for IITs, but that was the plan. But I scored very good in my 12th board exams, and which are the final exams basically. And uh, I was basically in all of the merit lists for my degree programs, uh, especially in the science fields. So I had applied for uh, uh, bachelor's in physics, and I was in the merit list. So I was like, yeah. I mean, there was absolutely no need for to stress about IIT and any of those things, and yeah. But at the very final moment, uh, I chose engineering because I was admitted to a college, and again, the 4 years of engineering. Uh, so a couple of things happened. First was I told my parents that, hey, I listen to you about tuitions and anything education related till I was in the 12th grade. But now I'm in the engineering. Let me take my decisions, and I will do all of the learning on my own. And at this point, they knew how much I complained about the whole school and the college and the tuitions. They were like, do whatever is best for you as long as you get good grades. And in my engineering days, I was an absolute topper. And yeah, I basically crushed it for the 4 years. But there was another simultaneous thing that was happening was during my engineering, I became extremely spiritual, and I had my first awakening and I was very much conscious, and I basically used engineering as a platform to experiment how much I can push myself. Uh, and I really did, and I was topper for almost 4 years. Now, why am I saying this? Is because in my schooling days and my 11th and 12th, I was an extremely average person. Like, uh, I was into sports, but I was not into the main teams, and especially academically, I was my grades were extremely average, and yeah, and I was not among the toppers, and now suddenly I was. And you know what? Uh, my teachers on open house days would usually tell my mom that your child is actually intelligent. He just not puts into the effort of uh, or something fucks up and he does not score good into the exams. But actually, if you test him, his concepts, they are extremely good, and he is a very capable child. So I think somewhere down the line, my mind during my childhood might have associated that as a rebellion. So, not scoring as a rebellion against the institutions or the whole education system. And then I did my master's, and my master's was actually the most pleasant days because I had no one watching over me, and I was very much conscious, even more than I was in my engineering, and I really enjoyed that period. But you might question, why am I telling you all of this backstory? The reason I want to tell you is I absolutely hate education system. So the schooling, the colleges, the tuitions, the universities, all of it, and I hate it passionately. And I don't really hate a lot of stuff in my life. I'm pretty chill that way. but there are genuinely some things that I hate absolutely with passion. In fact, when I was writing this in my notes, I wrote my passion or my hatred for education system is the same way 50 Cent hates Diddy, right? And uh, it's that much hatred I have for education system. Now, you might ask why? Why? Because uh, the education system, at least in India, is more focused on rote learning and passing the exams, right? There's absolutely no focus on how much do you actually understand, and there is no focus on uh, developing your curiosity for any of the subjects, not just science and maths, but any of the subjects. So it's all just rote learning and learning for the sake of an exam. And so there's no understanding at all, right? And uh, so during childhood, I did not know that I was doing this unconsciously. That at a very young age, I was more engaged into watching Nat Geo and Discovery channels in the age where I should be watching cartoons. Then I was reading encyclopedia books, World Atlas, um, and all, all sorts of technical books at a very young age, just because my parents had bought them, and they were just lying there, and I was reading them, and I was interested in them 100%. So I read those books a couple of times, and the thing was, as a child, I didn't really understand what I was learning for that matter. But if you're taking in information from such an early age, no matter if you understand it or not, when you are at the age when you understand these things, those things flash back into your memory, and you're like, oh yeah, I studied about this, right? Uh, for example, uh, uh, like tsunamis, like the, the the reason why tsunamis happen, one of the reasons why tsunamis happen, is because the tectonic plates actually shift upwards and the older tectonic plates actually goes inwards. Now, as I tell you this, you will understand it, but you will not be able to imagine it. But all of these diagrams were in the encyclopedia and also in Nat Geo episodes. So I have that vivid memory of those tectonic plates actually moving up. And uh, that is how I understood what are tectonic plates, what are tsunamis, why do the tectonic plates go down and new one come up. So that's how we learn. And the thing is, uh, my parents, fortunately, didn't stop that curiosity when I was young, and uh, they, if they see me studying something from these books, they used to just continue, and they wouldn't force me to do anything else. Uh, So, what happened was, as a compound effect of all of the unconscious learning that I did during my childhood, actually helped me a lot when I grew up. And my concepts are actually much more clearer than any other person. And the second aspect, which is curiosity, uh, and asking the question why, right? Why is this happening? Then the next why, then the next why, then the next why, and going inside deeper and deeper and deeper to understand a concept. And I used to do that unconsciously. So what happened was, my concepts were very clear, and I was not the topper during my school, college, and engineering days, but I used to actually teach the toppers the concepts, because those people were not in it to understand for the or those people were not in it for the love of the game, and I was there to actually learn, to genuinely understand all the physics principles, right? My physics till date is very much up to date, and if my nephew comes up or if anyone comes up, I'm able to explain them physics concepts extremely nicely in very easy non-technical way that anyone can understand it, right? And I think that level of understanding is needed as you grow up, and that is actually missing in the education system, and that is why I hate it so much, because I know a lot of these concepts, but I'm scoring poorly in the exams. Uh, so, so deep down, when I was at an age where I was understanding all of this, uh, I really made sure that I don't feel bad because of the bad grades, because deep down I know that I know much more than these people, right? And uh, I am seeing that effect now that I'm in my professional setting. I see people. So I'm in the software industry, and as you can imagine, we are solving problems, uh, hard system problems, and because of that lack of critical thinking and lack of curiosity, two things happen. One is because of the lack of creative thinking, the habit of asking why this, then why that, and how does that happen? The ability to solve the problem is non-existential, and I, being a mediocre at it, I'm the top performer because I can uh, go deeper into the logic. And if this failed, maybe that failed. If that failed, maybe this failed. Hence, this might be a problem. All right. So, linking those things need actual critical thinking, logical thinking, problem solving skills, which are necessary to be taught during the education, during our schooling period. But unfortunately, those are not. What we are taught instead is, this is how it is. Don't ask why it is. This is how it is. And that is what actually makes me angry. And these same professionals are then not able to solve any of these problems. And I literally have to handhold them and walk them through the code and tell them why exactly something went wrong. And I absolutely hate that. And the second thing is, uh, the education system, because everyone is so focused on the exam part of it, uh, the the curiosity within the kids die out as they grow up, right? And why that hampers your professional career is because curiosity makes you learn new things. And what happens is these same professionals, they are unable to learn new technologies, new concepts, and they're unable to adapt to the newer ecosystem. For example, AI is a new trend, and I'm able to adapt to it pretty quickly, but a lot of these people aren't, and that's the issue, right? That is why curiosity is absolute necessity. And yeah, so if you see the pattern, the pattern is, I don't hate education in general. or learning in general. I love it. I like learning and educating myself on different things all the time. But what I hate is the actual institutions uh, where we go to get this education, right? And how we are killing next generations. Uh, and that is why, if you see around you, people take whatever you throw at them at their face value, and they don't really question why, right? And this can have serious impact. For example, in politics, uh, I won't go into politics for that matter, but uh, so I really wanted to do my PhD, and I was really interested in it, and I canceled my plan because I had to go to institute again, which is university, and I just hate those institutes. So I was like, I can do research any way I want. So I'll do it on my own, but I won't go to another institute ever again. Uh, Sadly, I have to go to a corporate environment, and I will make another video on why I hate corporates. Uh, but after sticking to the education topic, after saying all of this, uh, I will still put my kids, whenever I have them, uh, into the schools, colleges, universities, because the only thing I think is helpful is uh, socialization, making friends, uh, making possible future partners, having that boyfriend, girlfriend, breakup, all the experiences, bullying, getting bullied, uh, rich kids, poor kids, uh, people from different uh, areas of life, different walks of life. You all see them in the school, and you become more normal, I would say. And uh, uh, basically, your settings tune down or adjust correctly according to other people, and being exposed to all of these different kinds of kids. And I think uh, that is the only advantage I can see of these education systems. Otherwise, I will. My aim is to spend time and energy into teaching my kids all of the concepts that I have learned over the years, and I will take up the teaching part of it, and not some educational institute, and really help them become more, mm, I would say, better at understanding the world, and yeah, whatever is actually needed in professional settings. And uh, in fact, different things are also needed. So emotional intelligence, uh, then uh, financial education, right? Those are real skills that you really need, and which are supposed to be taught into a schooling setting, but that doesn't happen, and it is up to us to teach it. So yeah, if you hate education system, put that in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.